You might be shocked to learn that not every place in the world welcomes black travelers. The harsh reality is that there are countries where, simply because of your skin color, you could face subtle hostility or even blatant discrimination. In today's video, we'll uncover the top 15 countries where black individuals may not only feel unsafe but also be excluded from the moment they arrive. Are we turning a blind eye to these injustices when we talk about travel and the freedom to explore the world? It's time to confront the truth behind the smiles. In this video, we're going beyond mere subtle racial biases or awkward stares. We're tackling serious racial tensions, anti-black sentiments, and even destinations where travel advisories for black individuals are warranted. If you've ever wondered which countries have unfriendly environments or where black travelers could face racism, you're in the right spot. We will also share insights on countries that black people should avoid and what safety measures to take while traveling internationally. Trust me, you'll want to stay tuned for the full list. It could change your travel plans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some enlightening information. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you won't miss any travel tips. First on the list is Saudi Arabia. Although the country is known for its wealth and rich heritage, the experience for black individuals seeking a friendly atmosphere can be quite different. In fact, 70% of labor disputes in Saudi Arabia involve black workers, many of whom are migrants from African nations. The kingdom has faced considerable criticism regarding its treatment of these laborers, who often endure difficult working conditions and pervasive racial discrimination. While Saudi Arabia's strict cultural regulations create challenges for many foreigners, the situation can be even more uncomfortable for black travelers. The racial bias encountered affects not only migrant workers but also black visitors and expatriates, who frequently encounter both subtle and overt forms of prejudice. For example, many black individuals report feeling suspicion or hostility in public settings, making everyday activities like shopping or dining feel like navigating a social obstacle course. Additionally, the frequent stares that convey "I've never seen someone like you" are all too common. It's crucial to recognize that Saudi Arabia's unwelcoming attitude towards black individuals is not just a modern issue. Historical racial hierarchies stemming from the slave trade and entrenched cultural norms have long been present in the region. Although some progress has been made, systemic problems persist, making it a country that many black travelers might choose to avoid. Therefore, if you're planning a visit to the kingdom, be ready with patience and perhaps a thick skin, as it may not be particularly inviting for black visitors. Next is Japan, celebrated for its advanced technology, delicious sushi, and beautiful cherry blossoms, which offers plenty to enjoy. However, when it comes to embracing diversity, the country still has a long way to go. In fact, 45% of black expatriates living in Japan report experiencing racial bias. Whether it's being stared at on public transport or feeling out of place in social gatherings, subtle exclusion is a frequent experience for black individuals there. The lack of racial diversity makes it challenging for black travelers to feel truly welcomed, contributing to Japan's high ranking on the list of countries that black people may prefer to avoid. Additionally, it's not only everyday interactions that lead to discomfort. The media in Japan contributes to the issue as well. Negative stereotypes about black people are still prevalent in TV shows, advertisements, and even cartoons. The presence of blackface in Japanese media can be quite startling for newcomers. This perpetuates outdated and offensive views, making black travelers feel more alienated. Historically, Japan has been largely homogeneous, and while it is slowly becoming more open to foreign influences, the acceptance of racial diversity has been gradual, often resulting in microaggressions and overt racism encountered during shopping, dining, or while visiting popular tourist attractions. Despite Japan's advanced technology and famous landmarks attracting visitors, its lack of diversity and racial bias places it among the top 15 countries where black individuals might feel unwelcome. If you're planning a trip, prepare to face more than just language barriers. It's wise to keep an open mind and perhaps bring along some extra patience. Next is India. With its vibrant culture, rich history, and stunning landmarks, India is a dream destination for many travelers. However, black visitors encounter particular challenges that can diminish their comfort. Colorism is deeply rooted in Indian society, with a concerning 62% of black expatriates reporting experiences of racial discrimination. This issue goes beyond mere uncomfortable looks and unfriendly comments. Negative encounters are unfortunately common for black travelers in India. The origins of this bias can be traced back to India's colonial history, where lighter skin was often associated with higher social status. Regrettably, these antiquated beliefs continue to shape attitudes today, leaving Black individuals frequently subjected to prejudice. Whether you're exploring bustling markets or visiting the famous Taj Mahal, don't be surprised if you feel like a focal point, as locals who may have never encountered a Black person before give you inquisitive looks. Along with stares and remarks, Black travelers in India might also face more serious issues, such as being treated with suspicion or even refused service in certain establishments. While India's rich cultural diversity draws many visitors, its ongoing struggle with accepting darker skin tones may lead Black travelers to reconsider their plans. Thus, if you're contemplating a trip to India, be mindful that experiencing this beautiful country comes with unique challenges, as its deep-rooted colorism and racial biases place it among the top 10 countries where Black individuals might not feel welcomed. Approach your journey with an awareness of these concerns. An open mind and some resilience will be crucial. Next is South Korea. Renowned for K-pop, cutting-edge technology, and delicious BBQ, South Korea has become a favored tourist destination. However, for Black travelers, navigating this predominantly homogeneous society can feel like being the only dish at a buffet that no one wants to try. Being a foreigner in South Korea presents its own challenges. But being Black adds another layer of difficulty. A notable 55% of Black expatriates in South Korea report experiencing racial discrimination. From being denied taxi rides to facing constant scrutiny, many Black individuals often feel out of place. The situation is worsened by South Korean media, which has historically portrayed Black people negatively through outdated stereotypes and insensitive representations. This misrepresentation can create misunderstandings, reinforcing biases and making daily interactions uncomfortable or unfriendly. Traditionally, South Korea's lack of racial diversity meant that foreigners, particularly Black individuals, were rare. Although the country is becoming more open to global influences, old attitudes still linger. Black travelers frequently note that even simple activities like grocery shopping or visiting tourist sites can feel isolating, as locals may stare or avoid interaction altogether. If you're planning a visit to South Korea, be ready for a mix of excitement and frustration. While the country offers a vibrant culture and lively nightlife, racial biases and cultural misunderstandings still rank it among the top 10 countries where Black individuals may not feel welcomed. Bring your sense of humor, you'll definitely need it. Number 5 on the list is Israel. Known for its deep historical roots and religious significance, Israel also grapples with intricate ethnic and racial issues that pose challenges for Black individuals, especially African immigrants. In 2023, reports of racial discrimination against these immigrants surged by 30%, shedding light on the struggles faced by Black people in Israel. Many Black travelers perceive the country as unwelcoming, often encountering suspicion within a society that can be hostile. Black residents, particularly those from African countries, report facing discrimination not only in daily interactions, but also in systemic areas such as housing and employment. While tensions among various ethnic groups in Israel are long-standing, the rising animosity towards Black immigrants has made it a place many Black individuals might prefer to avoid. In informal settings, Black visitors may experience uncomfortable glances or feel out of place, similar to a rare Pokemon among common ones. For Black travelers, visiting Israel can be quite difficult, as racial issues extend beyond simple inconveniences. Whether seeking accommodation or trying to blend in, ingrained biases can complicate everyday experiences. Despite Israel's vibrant culture and historical significance, it unfortunately ranks among the top 10 countries where Black individuals may feel unwelcome. Stay tuned, as there's more eye-opening information to come. If this surprises you, just wait, we're only halfway through. These challenges are considerable, making it essential for travelers to stay aware. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe to Global Women's Life for more insightful travel tips. Don't forget to enable notifications so you won't miss any advice that could improve your next journey. Number 6, Ukraine. Although Ukraine is celebrated for its rich cultural heritage and breathtaking landscapes, it does not score well in terms of racial tolerance. In fact, it has been recognized as one of the least racially tolerant nations in Europe, posing challenges for Black travelers. A particularly alarming trend involves African students who have reported being denied access to buses and trains. Picture this: you might manage to catch a ride only to find out that the train isn't stopping for you. This lack of diversity and frequent instances of racial discrimination create an unwelcoming environment for Black visitors, often leaving them feeling out of place. Whether walking down the street or attempting to use public transport, Black individuals in Ukraine may face unfriendly treatment. The country's homogeneity and limited cultural exposure contribute to a reputation that is difficult for Black people and other minorities to ignore. While Ukraine has a rich history and impressive architecture, Black travelers might want to think twice about their plans. Given the subtle and sometimes overt racism present, it's no surprise that Ukraine ranks among the top 15 countries where Black individuals may feel unwelcome. If you choose to visit, be prepared. Taking the train could require more than just having a ticket. Greece is famous for its ancient ruins, beautiful islands, and delicious gyros. But the experience for Black travelers isn't entirely positive. Racial tensions in Greece have escalated in recent years, especially following the migration crisis, with African migrants bearing the brunt of this hostility. Many report experiencing unwelcoming behavior, particularly in areas away from popular tourist spots. While exploring the charming neighborhoods of Athens may seem safe, going further afield can reveal a different reality. Black travelers often express feelings of being unwelcome, with many encountering blatant racism. This issue goes beyond mere uncomfortable looks. There has been a reported increase in incidents of verbal abuse and even physical altercations. These racial tensions are not isolated occurrences, but part of a broader problem that has intensified with the arrival of migrants from Africa and the Middle East. As a result, Black travelers frequently feel they must navigate certain areas of Greece cautiously, despite their desire to appreciate the surrounding beauty. While Santorini's breathtaking views and the historical importance of the Parthenon are alluring, visitors may face some unwelcoming attitudes. Greece is a dream destination for many, yet it has unfortunately ranked among the top 15 countries where Black individuals might not feel at ease. If you plan to visit, it's wise to stick to tourist areas, unless you're ready for more drama than a Greek tragedy. Italy, famous for its pizza, pasta, and incredible art, may initially seem like a perfect vacation spot. However, for Black travelers, the experience can be quite unpleasant. Despite its rich culture and history, Italy has witnessed a concerning 35% rise in racially motivated crimes, especially against African immigrants. This alarming trend highlights the growing issue of racism in the country, making it one to avoid if safety is a concern. Discrimination affects not just immigrants. Black travelers often report feeling unwelcome in various public spaces, including restaurants and shops. You might savor a cappuccino in a charming cafe, but don't be surprised by the chilly glances accompanying your drink. Even while visiting iconic landmarks like the Colosseum or the canals of Venice, Black visitors have faced uncomfortable situations ranging from microaggressions to outright hostility. Racial tensions in Italy arise from its recent political climate and immigration history, particularly due to the influx of African immigrants over the years, which has led to heightened xenophobia and discrimination. Unfortunately, these issues also affect Black tourists, who may experience similar forms of mistreatment. While Italy is rich in beauty and history, the increase in racial incidents has placed it among the top 10 countries where Black individuals might not feel welcome. If you're thinking about visiting, prepare for an adventurous spirit and perhaps some extra patience, as you could face challenges beyond just typical tourist crowds. China's emergence as a global economic leader is impressive, yet certain issues persist, especially the deep-seated racial biases that impact Black travelers. For them, visiting China can be quite challenging. African expatriates and Black tourists often report experiencing discriminatory behaviors, ranging from constant staring to more severe harassment. While being stared at in public can be uncomfortable, many Black visitors find themselves treated like spectacles everywhere they go. This situation largely stems from cultural misunderstandings and limited exposure to diversity. Despite China's growing influence globally, it remains relatively homogeneous, particularly outside major cities like Beijing and Shanghai. This has fostered an environment where Black individuals are often seen as curiosities, with stereotypes and misinformation further fueling bias. For example, it's not uncommon for Black people to be denied service in certain venues or to encounter overt suspicion, especially in rural areas. Although China has made progress in building international relations, particularly with African nations, these connections haven't necessarily translated into broader social acceptance. As a result, Black travelers may feel uncomfortable and unwelcome, making China a destination that requires careful thought for Black individuals. Whether you're visiting the Great Wall or navigating the busy streets of Shanghai, the cultural divide and lack of diversity can create obstacles for Black visitors. Thus, it's no surprise that China ranks among the top 10 countries where Black people may not feel welcomed. If you decide to visit, be prepared for more than just culture shock. You might draw more attention than you expect. Now, focusing on Russia, a country known for its rich cultural legacy and iconic landmarks like the Kremlin and Red Square, it also faces a significant issue with racism that impacts Black travelers. Sadly, incidents involving racial slurs, harassment, and even physical violence are not uncommon. Surveys reveal that racial discrimination against Black individuals is widespread in Russia, with African immigrants and Black visitors often facing hostility in major cities such as Moscow and St. Petersburg. While Black travelers may encounter suspicious looks or derogatory comments, the situation can be even harsher in smaller towns where diversity is less prevalent. The presence of far-right nationalist groups has fostered an environment where Black individuals might feel unsafe merely walking down the street. There have been reports of racially motivated assaults, particularly aimed at African students and tourists, which reinforces Russia's image as a place to avoid for Black people. Although Russia is renowned for its contributions to art, literature, and history, its systemic racism presents considerable obstacles for Black travelers. Despite the breathtaking attractions, like the stunning Hermitage Museum and the Trans-Siberian Railway, underlying tensions can turn an exciting visit into a distressing experience. With escalating racial tensions and more frequent instances of discrimination, it's no surprise that Russia ranks among the top 15 countries where Black individuals feel unwelcome. If you're planning a trip to Russia, remember to pack more than just your winter coat. You'll need additional patience and caution to navigate this complex cultural landscape. While Spain is a popular destination for millions of tourists, Black travelers have reported mixed experiences, particularly in certain regions. In cities like Seville, Black travelers have recounted incidents of microaggressions and a lack of cultural awareness. Seville's history, with its ties to the transatlantic slave trade, sometimes creates an uncomfortable atmosphere for Black visitors. Additionally, some travelers have noticed overt curiosity, such as being stared at, which can be unsettling, particularly in smaller cities where diversity is less visible. Larger cities like Madrid and Barcelona tend to be more culturally inclusive and cosmopolitan, offering a more welcoming environment. However, Spain's ongoing struggles with racism and xenophobia, including in sports, highlight that Black travelers may still encounter uncomfortable moments. Despite these challenges, many Black travelers still enjoy Spain's rich history, art, and culinary experiences, especially when prepared for potential cultural insensitivities. Turkey's vibrant culture and historical sites make it a popular destination, but Black travelers sometimes face unique challenges there. While Turkey is generally seen as a welcoming country, especially in major cities like Istanbul and tourist-heavy areas like Cappadocia, some Black visitors report being treated differently, particularly in more rural or less touristy regions. Incidents of racial bias or discrimination are often more subtle and may come in the form of stares, comments, or being treated as a curiosity. Turkey's deep-rooted cultural pride can sometimes translate into a lack of exposure to diversity, which might cause discomfort for Black visitors unfamiliar with the local norms. Still, many Black travelers report positive experiences, particularly in the context of Turkish hospitality, which is a core part of the culture. It is also worth noting that larger cities are more likely to embrace diversity and treat all tourists with respect. Argentina, known for its European influence and rich culture, has a less diverse population than some of its neighboring countries. Black travelers visiting Argentina have often noted feelings of being an anomaly, with locals sometimes expressing curiosity or making uninformed comments about their race. The country's Black population is relatively small, and Afro-Argentine history is often overlooked in mainstream narratives, which can contribute to a lack of awareness and cultural sensitivity. While overt racism isn't always the norm, subtle forms of bias, such as stereotyping or curiosity-based behavior, may be experienced, especially outside cosmopolitan cities like Buenos Aires. Black travelers are often advised to prepare for these challenges, as the country's lack of exposure to racial diversity may lead to uncomfortable situations. Nevertheless, Many visitors enjoy Argentina's cultural landmarks, tango and cuisine, though the experience may be different for people of color. Germany has a complex history regarding race, and while modern Germany is often known for its progressive stance on many issues, racial intolerance still exists in certain areas. Black travelers visiting Germany have shared both positive and negative experiences. In larger cities like Berlin and Munich, there is a stronger sense of inclusion and cultural diversity, making these destinations more comfortable for Black visitors. However, in smaller towns and regions in East Germany, reports of racial hostility and discrimination are more frequent. Neo-Nazi groups and far-right organizations still exist in parts of the country, and Black travelers may encounter uncomfortable situations in these areas. Nonetheless, Germany's commitment to combating racism through government and societal initiatives has improved the environment in many parts of the country. Travelers are often advised to stick to larger cities where they are more likely to blend in and feel welcome. Poland, while rich in history and culture, is one of the countries where Black travelers may encounter significant challenges. The country's homogeneous population and lack of exposure to racial diversity can result in uncomfortable situations for Black visitors. Many Black travelers have reported feeling unwelcome or facing outright discrimination in both subtle and overt ways. In some cases, Black individuals have been the subject of racist slurs or aggressive behavior, especially in smaller towns or more conservative regions of the country. Warsaw, Krakow, and other major cities are generally more accepting, but even in these areas, travelers may experience stares, microaggressions, or a lack of understanding of Black culture. Despite these difficulties, some Black travelers appreciate Poland's historical sites and cultural offerings, though they often recommend exercising caution and staying in well-populated, tourist-friendly areas. So there you have it, the top 15 countries where Black individuals may not feel welcomed. While every travel experience varies, it's important to acknowledge the challenges that Black travelers might face in certain areas. This video aims to inform and prepare rather than deter travel. Being aware of potential issues can help you manage your journey more effectively and make safer, more informed choices. If you found this video informative or useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel insights from Global Women's Life. If you have personal experiences in any of these countries or advice for fellow travelers, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, safe travels.